feels like.
Jet Smarter, music and film summit. So I just want to jump right in and ask you guys a few questions. So with us here, we have the director and co-writer Qasim Basir.
It's Qasim Basir.
Qasim Basir.
Cool.
Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Samantha Tanner, co-writer, and then our producer Tari Turner.
Yes.
And then Meagan Good and Jay Ellis, of course, who started the project as well. So a few questions for you guys, just to dive right in. I wanted to know, for the two of you, how did this story come about, and was this a personal journey for either or one of you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I've done a couple movies that are kind of serious and intense, which is kind of the kind of movies I make about social relevant issues and stuff. And so somebody at a film festival was like, "Do you ever think about doing something light and fun?" I'm like, not really. But on that trip, on the flight back, I was like, that question resonated with me, and I thought about it more. And I thought about a character, a guy I know. He promotes clubs in New York. He went to New York to do something, like he had a dream, but sort of got lost in this nightlife promoting parties. And I was like, would it be cool if there was a story about a guy like this who met a girl one night, simple, boy meets girl, boom. And I wrote this outline on the plane, and I got back, called to Tari, and I was like, dude, I think I got this idea. We could do something crazy, probably shoot a oneer, like, and then her and I started developing the script to get it to this place where it became boy girl dream. And then the election happened. Like, the movie initially wasn't about that. It was a simple love story. So that idea of me doing something light and fun, just like, nah. Because like I think if you add, like, for whoever you are, that night was one of the most polarizing moments in our history. And just consider, like, everything you do. Like, I was drinking some water on election night. I was walking down the street on election night. Everything is like heightened. Yeah. So I think it really raised the stakes for the film, and became it's still light in a lot of ways, but you know, it's definitely got some
hope in there. And when he handed it off to me, it was it was really well formed and developed, and it was beautiful. And it was Cass, or Omari Hardwick, who plays Cass. It was his story, and it was definitely about, like, him trying to break through and find his dreams. And when I'm looking at the script, it was great. And Qasim is a great, like, his other two films, he has really strong women in it, and he has a lot of strong women in his family. But when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, something is, like, I had questions. I'm like, where does she work? What does she do? Who is she? Does she have dreams? What can she, like, she was on the page, like, you had words, there was stuff there, but I'm like, there's something that needed some oomph to it, you know, and it read like a girl, it read like a woman, and I'm like, but women that I know are strong, powerful, and they are celebrated on both Father's Day and Mother's Day, and I wanted her to have that same voice, and Meagan, you brought it.
So she literally brought that, like, and like you said, it was a story from the guy's perspective. And you know, there's a lot going on with the women's movement right now. There was just another march yesterday. This right now is the 1-year anniversary of the Women's March, which where millions of people around the world took to the streets, and we were in one of those marches a year ago in LA, where you could see women as far as the eye could see. And we start to realize, like, I always thought, no, I'm cool. I write women strong, you know, but you can't really truly write something that you really don't. I mean, you can write stuff that you don't know, but to have from the perspective of someone that actually lives it, it takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, well, that kind of transitions to a question I have for you, Desiree, because you've been here before. You've had several films at Sundance. How have you seen the climate here change and the environment change, especially coming here now, you know, with A Boy, A Girl, A Dream, and then with the political climate right now that we're in, with the progression of African American female filmmakers, and just the growth of African Americans and minorities in films here at Sundance. So how has that experience been for you, and how have you seen it grow?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about it last night. I was talking to Omari and Issa Rae and a bunch of people last night. Because I had a film here in 2011, and it wasn't any black. It wasn't a lot of black people here, and like we were at this event last night, and it was just so many black stars and directors and producers and writers, and I'm just like, man, this has grown just tremendously. And you know, we out here, you know, we represent it in a real way now at this festival. Like right after I had my first film in 2011, I became a board member of the Black House Foundation, because you know, I wanted to, you know, shepherd young filmmakers, you know, of color, and you know, make sure that we did have more of us at this festival. So I mean, I definitely in the last 7 years, the growth has been tremendous.
You know, I'd say the most exciting thing for me was, like, as soon as I knew what it was, I knew that it was going to be a challenge. And I love the character, I love the story, I love the world, I love just the moment that we were exploring that is just so raw and so honest about what are we contributing to the world, and what is our purpose, and who are we as human beings, and have we answered the call on our life. And it was exciting for me that all that was on the page, and then on top of it, I had to memorize the entire script. Which, you know, most stuff, you know, you memorize your stuff, your, you know, 4 or 5 scenes for the next day or whatever, and so on and so on. And so to memorize it all at once was a challenge. I literally was like on the treadmill with my little cousin, and I'm like, okay, go back to page 1. Okay, now I'm on page 4. Go back to page 1, and literally just like working it out, and then just being there, and in that kind of like that heightened energy of like, if you mess up one thing, we are starting all over again. And believe me, we started all over again quite a few times. And it would be like, you know, because you have so many people who have cues, you know. As soon as this happens, this person's got to come. And as soon as this happens, this person's got to come. And as soon as this happens, this car's got to come. And it's got to land right here at this time. And it was just a lot. And it was definitely a challenge, but definitely an incredible, fun experience, and something I'm super excited and proud to be part of.
Amen.
Okay, perfect. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time out to speak to us.
You gotta ask
Yes,
me.
It's fine.
Yeah, I had a question for you, but I want to wrap it up and go downstairs. But I definitely have a question for you, Jay. So
I was also late, so it's also my fault.
So for you, you've had massive success currently with, you know, the popularity of Insecure. So how was it for you to be able to step out of those shoes as that character and step into a new one for this project?
We had a conversation. Tatari put me and Q on the phone, and Qasim was like, yo, how long have you been in LA? And I was like, I've been here for years. And he was like, have you ever had any boys who've been promoters? And I was like, one of my best friends of like 16 years that I grew up with moved to LA with a dream to do, he wanted to be a writer. Like, he had a completely different dream. And he's been working nightlife for probably 14 of those years. He's been promoting. And so when we just started talking and just talking about who that guy is and who are a lot of those guys that we see, especially in a city like LA or New York, like there were just so many things that clicked. And it just felt like I was getting to be, I mean, I hate to say this, especially if he sees this, but I feel like I was getting to play my best friend in some ways. Just because I've watched his path and understood his path, and also understood what it's like to, once you get so far away from your dream, especially with a cat like this, with like Rock, like once you get so far away from your dream, sometimes you turn and you don't want to dream anymore because it's crushing to not see it. And I feel like that's a lot of what I got to play with this guy. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Awesome. That's really good. Well, you guys look super comfortable, but I hate to break it up. I appreciate you guys coming out and taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Amen.
Yeah. Thank you guys. So we'll just head down.
Beautiful, beautiful. Blackfilm.com actually is launching a streaming platform next month.
Really?
So it's gonna, in partnership with Warner Brothers, and Proz is a part of it.
Wilson Morales?
Wilson Morales, yeah, he's the editor for Blackfilm.
Yeah.
Val Moore is the CEO of Blackfilm.com. So as of next month, we'll be launching that platform. Streaming platform is free. It's gonna have Black films from the Warner Brothers catalog. So my question to you guys is, what films or what classic Black films have inspired you as writers, directors, actors that you want to see live in a space like that are available to everyone so they don't disappear?
Started off too.
What'd you say?
I feel like we should all be like, this one.
Wow, Heat of the Night, Let's Do It Again, Uptown Saturday Night, anything Richard Pryor, oh my gosh, Mo Better Blues. X, Malcolm X. I was a kid. I saw that man standing out there like,
What's that hand?
bro. I was like, oh my god, like people could do that.
Do the right
just gave me
thing.
chills and power.
Do the right thing.
Oh, yeah.
Lady Sings the Blues. Obviously Malcolm X, Boys in the Hood.
Love Jones.
Love Jones, Juice. Man.
All the black movies.
Yeah, there's a lot. Minister Society.
All the black movies.
Yeah, like I was just gonna say, like we can go here and list all of them, but like they all need to be seen. They all need to be heard. They all need a space to live, exist, and thrive, and be archived. So
you gotta understand, like for a while we had like one movie a year. It was like one movie, and every black person would go to the theater. It was like a thing. I remember, and being like, oh, Spike dropping one, or Singleton is dropping one. Literally one or two. That's it. So they became classics. Almost every one of them, because we were like, this is all, you know, it was so few. So,
I just want to say, there's a lot of, I talk about this with friends all the time, like, and for the people in the audience, this might make sense, but I feel like we have always been told that we need to know who Dave Matthews is, and we need to know who Dave Banner is, our David Banner. and so for me, I think that goes across with film as well. So like when I hear something like that, that's so amazing, because like we have a film education that has to look like us, but then also has to look like what has been given to the world for the most part. And we're inspired by those stories, and there's beautiful films that are made there. But like, there's some stuff for people to mine out of like all these films that we're talking about and all these projects that are like just humanity and beautiful stories that like have people of color in them. And I just to hear that just makes me so happy. That's really dope.
Coming to America. Boomerang.
It set it off.
Set it off.
Dead president.
Oh God, Dead President.
East Bayou.
Yeah, it's so beautiful because there's so many films out there that I think inspire all of us and inspire, you know, each of you on the panel to, you know, create and make beautiful art like you did with this film. So again, I want to just thank all of you for coming out and taking time out of your schedule.
Thank you.
It was busy. So
Appreciate you.
We appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having
Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you guys for being here listening.